working since I was 9 years old. I've been working for the past like 10 years, if that. And he was like, I think you should be a writer. I think you should do that full time. I think you owe it to yourself to take a full year and just write. So I quit my job, and that's what I did. Great. And then I applied. What a gift. Yeah, don't make me cry. It was the nicest thing anybody's ever done for me in my entire life. Honestly, it was a gift. And I freaked out the whole year. And I was like, oh, I should take this part-time job so I'm contributing to the household and the bills, because I had never, ever had anyone pay a bill besides me before. I was contributing to my family's household at a very young age. We started working when we were 9, and my mom would take half that money. So I just never been the person that wasn't the contributor to a pile of needs, right? So I took the year and I freaked out, and I couldn't do anything because I was paralyzed with, I don't know, like I should be doing something. But I did. I ended up rewriting that whole book and then applying to graduate school and submitting that book as my way to get into graduate school. And then the director of the program called me and he said, you are the first person. I am first or second. And I was like, what? You're taking away what? And he goes, no, I want you to know you're the first person we are accepting into this quarter of our MFA program. And I was like, what? And he goes, we haven't made any other decisions yet. We haven't called anybody else yet. I wanted to call you first. I wanted you to know. I want to tell you, you are the 0.0001% of people who are natural born storytellers, and don't ever let anybody ever tell you ever again that you are not talented. And I was like, oh my God. Only to find out he says it to everybody.
No, he doesn't say that to everyone.
But it changed my life. It changed my life. And everybody said if I went to graduate school that I was giving up acting forever. And I argued and said, no, it's not. And it took me a year to decide to go because people kept saying that. Even my husband was like, if you go to graduate school, that's it. You're saying goodbye to acting.
Why does everyone have to put us in boxes and make things absolutes? That
was my point. And I was like, I can do anything I want to do. Mind you, I had just had a child. So I was 6 months postpartum. I had just finished a book. I was like, I can do everything. I was teaching spin classes because I was like, I got to lose this weight. Yeah. And then I met you. And and we did a storytelling show that you put on at the Joshua Tree Fringe Fest, where I knew that woman weirdly from acting classes. Totally bizarre. And it changed everything for me because I saw the whole future open up. And everything felt like I felt like I was where I was supposed to be at the right time in my life, in the world, in my career. And I've never, ever, ever felt so happy, ever. Like completely content. Like this is a good life. No matter what happens, this is a good life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think that that's what we strive for is if you're banging your head against a wall and things aren't happening and you're not happy, sometimes you have to sit down and reevaluate why. Sometimes it's time. Nobody tells us it's time to move on. They say you have to keep going. You can't quit. You can't make these choices for yourself, And that's not true. Like you can change the whole direction. It's never too late. It's never too early. And it's never that you can't go back. It's that, hey, I need to try something different. If the same thing isn't working over and over and over, why frustrate yourself? Stop doing that thing. Do something else and then come back to that thing. That's how you would do a math problem. Life is just one giant math problem.
That's great.
True.
I think I found your quote. But it is so true. And it's also okay to have what you want out of life change. I mean, from my 20s, my idea of the dream come true was like living in a stinky van with 2 guys and touring around the country playing music. Now it's like, I have no interest in that. None. Someone would have to pay me a lot of money to get me in a van with 2 guys and going across the country. It's just dreams change and that's okay. We get new dreams.
You were living in a car too.
With 2 smelly men.
I didn't have to live with anyone in my little Ford.
Well, the van was bigger than your Ford Focus. One time we were touring with the Dolly Rots. So there were 6 of us in the van and a couple of them, I had a contest who could go the longest without washing or taking off their pants. That was fun. That was a fun smell.
Oh
And
my,
it was a long time. It went a long time. I don't remember who was the winner. I'm sure they could tell me, but it was a long time, like weeks, I think.
that's amazing. And I was so glad that I was not a part of that.
Yeah.
Like, my living in the car was just like somebody's driveway.
Somebody's driveway. That is not safe. That is not safe. Anyone out there listening, don't do that unless you have to.
True.
So if Jamie now could go back and give some advice to 18-year-old Jamie, what would that advice be?
Do it all the same. I would not be the person I am today if I didn't do exactly what I had done. And I don't know if I'd be here. I don't know if I'd be this happy. I don't know if I'd have met my husband. I don't know if I'd have 2 complete novels done now and figuring out what to do with that. I don't know. It's a loaded question because I think that there's so many things we could do differently. At 18, I should have known better not to say no to NYU, and I should have gone to New York. But then I'd be a completely different person, and I don't know who that person would have been. I don't know how she would have been treated there. I can't predict that. So I don't think that I would say much to her except that I love you. You're doing the right thing. Keep going. And I wouldn't take away any of the experiences that she's going to have because they form the person that she becomes. And I like who this person is now. So I would probably just say, I love you. Keep going. You're going to be fine. You're going to be, maybe lay off the chocolate almonds at some point.
Well, if that's your only nourishment, I mean, come on.
It's still all I eat, you guys. I just want to say, I will say this. I'll leave one thing. It's really hard as an artist, as a girl, as a woman, to believe that you're enough. And I don't think we get told that we're enough. There's an expectation that we continue to fill other people's glasses of water, right? Like we have to make people feel that we're enough. It's not enough that we can just feel content. It's like, but what else are you doing? Or what do you do for a living? And this applies to women who, choose to stay home and raise their families too. Like there's always this expectation that we should be more than just human beings in the world, right? So this is what I would tell 18-year-old Jamie and all other women too, is believe that you're enough. Believe that you're showing up and that's enough. Believe, because everybody doesn't want you to, and everybody wants to sort of take advantage of that need for you to be more, and you don't have to be more. Be exactly who you are and believe that that's enough, And I think that's important because it's a girls' podcast that women and girls know that that's enough. Period. Don't let anybody, even your parents, tell you that it's not. Like you do the best you can by showing up, and that's you, and that's enough. And that's it.
Wow, that is so true and awesome. Thank you for that. That's great. So where can my audience find you on the interwebs? And is there any way that they can support you? We haven't even talked about your podcast. We gotta just do a quick thing about that really fast.
Okay.
So you have a podcast. We got to talk about it. What is it?
Yes, it's called Make That Paper Podcast. It's at makethatpaperpodcast.com, or you can find it, on all the podcast outlets however you listen to your podcast. And we're on the social media sites. And it talks to artists of all mediums. So actors, Broadway, TV, film, writers, musicians, and then visual artists too. But that's not what I meant. I mean, painters and, but anyways, we talk to all artists. And we talk about the side hustles, all the gigs we do to support our ability to produce art, because it's an important thing to note that not a lot of artists make a lot of money. So we do day jobs or side hustles or, night gigs to support our careers and our passions. So that's what our podcast talks about. And we have so many great guests. Cooper was a guest. We've just had an extraordinary group of guests, and we have even more coming up, which I'm super excited about. And you'd be surprised at how many famous people are still side hustling. So
yeah, I know.
Check it out.
So what's the craziest side hustle that you have been told about on your show?
Like the most outrageous? Well, there's a lot. I mean, I haven't even divulged this one, and I'm going to divulge this one on your show for everyone so they can hear some of the stuff. I got a side hustle recording anime Japanese porn for $25 an hour. All I had to do was go in and into a microphone, go, over and over. And that was all I had to do. So technically it's not even porn in my book. I don't put porn down on my resume. I put voiceover. And
oh my God.
$20 an hour. I was like, living it up, queen. Give me that money.
Wow. Where does one place an ad for a job like that?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I got that off of from a friend. I think I got that one from a friend. Listen.
Nice friend.
Yeah. If you aren't hitting your friends up for gigs, you're not doing it right. You need
That's true.
Hit up some friends for gigs. And this was in Sherman Oaks. It was in Sherman Oaks,
California. Of course it was, because porn.
Yeah.
My old drummer used to drive a porn star because she was afraid to drive. And he was like, so he'd always have to be on the sets. And he is like, that job ruined porn for me forever. Like, it's just, it ruined it.
Well, I don't know if you heard the episode where I talk about, I was the assistant to one of the largest porn distributors in the country. And I was his personal assistant, not his executive assistant at his office. So I had to walk his dog and drive his car to make like drop-offs in weird places like the City of Industry from all the way from the valley. And I don't know what I was dropping off, but he paid me like $500 to make a drop off. And I got to drive his Beamer, which like basically was before Tesla driving itself. I don't know. I was like, I'll drop it off.
Wow.
But I had to go to like the porn Christmas party where people are having like sex, just having sex to have sex. They weren't even videotaping it.
And I know, I've been to porn parties too. And I'm always like, it's just a different life. It's a different life. Yeah.
It's not even sexual at that point. You're not, it's like, you don't even feel violated. You're just like, oh no. It's like being at the pound and then seeing a dog not neutered, just humping another dog. And you're like, oh, stop. Just stop. But,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I love it too. Okay. And so then lastly, so the socials, so there's the Make That Paper podcast. So the handles are Make That Paper everywhere?
Make That Paper. Yeah.
Okay. And then anywhere else people can connect with you?
Yeah, I'm always up to connect. You can find me at Jaime Parker Stickle on Instagram. And I don't know if we're allowed to say that Cooper and I have a writing mentor workshop coming out soon, which everybody is encouraged. We want to work with everybody. We believe in everybody. So we have that coming out. And at some point we'll have information for that. But until that comes out, find at Jaime Parker Stickle on Instagram and you can direct message. I have email on the website and I'm at JaimeParkerStickle.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on the Girl podcast. You've been awesome. It's been so much fun talking to you.
Thank you. This was so great. I feel so honored.
Oh my gosh. Isn't Jaime just a bundle of awesome? All right. Here are some key takeaways from this episode. 1, people are going to tell you no. Don't give up. 2, demand your worth, period. 3, always listen to your instincts. 4, stop listening to other people. Listen to yourself. I guess that relates to 3, huh? 5, it's never too late to change direction. 6, if the same thing isn't working, do something else. 7, it's okay to have what you want from life change. And 8, you are enough. Say it with me now. I am enough. That's right. You are enough. All right. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. I'm so grateful for you. I know there are a million things that you could be doing with your time, which I know is your most valuable asset. And I feel so honored that you chose to spend your time with me today. You can view the show notes and the links to everything that was mentioned in this episode at my website, which is GXRLPOD.com. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, please subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review, and share it with someone who might enjoy it. All right, I'm going to leave you with an unreleased Bang Sugar Bang track called Control. Nobody has heard this but you guys. So I hope you enjoy it. It's from our upcoming album called Invisible City, our first record in 13 years, which comes out on August 24th. Until next time.